With tariffs in effect in the United States against Canada, Mexico, and China, the prices for hockey gear may go up. The sport of ice hockey already comes with a steep price tag for equipment, but with companies such as Bauer and Warrior manufacturing their gear in Asia and Mexico. However, hockey shops locally have not seen prices for equipment go up.
None of the companies that we deal with, all the big hockey manufacturers, whether they're in Canada or manufacture in Mexico or China, have relayed that cost of anything onto us.
USA Hockey has had a mission to grow the game of hockey, but with increased costs, it could push more people away from the game. However, some online hockey communities offer hockey swaps where secondhand gear can be bought for much cheaper.